In a previous video, in the upper right hand corner, we talked about when to replace your tire and tire wear. Well, one of our viewers wrote in and asked, if you're running clinchers that don't appear to leak and seem fine, when do I replace the inner tube? Also, the rim tape. Let's address these. Let's start with the inner tube. Option 1. If money's no object, just replace the tube when you replace the tires. Option 2. Inspect the tubes. If they're not leaking, look for wear around the valve or cracks or other wear on the tube itself. Tubes, contrary to what is said by some, don't last forever, but they can last for years. On the left is a normal looking tube that's we've had in for maybe 1,000 miles in our clincher. This has been in much longer, several years, and we can already notice some wear occurring, as a comparison, right around the valve attachment and some of the rubber around the valve. This wear occurs over years, provided you don't get a puncture, and it's probably related to both the centrifugal force of the wheel against the tube and also the fact that we're constantly pumping up our tires, and by attaching the valve head and taking it off, and this moves the valve around somewhat, even though you may have a lock nut there, that will cause some wear. If you see this when you're inspecting, replace the tube. If when you replace the tire, if you notice the tube has bunches of patches, even though they're not leaking, I'd probably replace the tube. Patches don't last forever and will eventually leak under the patch, so why wait? A third option is when you rotate the tires. That is, we know the back tire wears 3 times faster, so when that's worn, we can discard the back tire and tube, take the front tire and tube, place it in the back, put a new tire and tube on the front. You want your best tire and tube on the front, because that's where most of your braking power is, and this is explained in our video in the upper right. As far as rim tape, always examine the rim tape when you replace a tire. Except for some of the newer tubeless rims, most of the rims that we're dealing with have holes for the spoke and spoke nipples. We cover that on clinchers with 2 layers of tape, tubeless tape, or 1 layer of Velox fabric tape. You should examine this each time that you remove a tire to replace, because we notice here at this point the tape has moved off to the side and partially exposed a spoke hole, which could result in a blowout if the tire gets through that. This could have come about possibly from just movement of the tape or poor insulation. Also, look carefully and look for any tears or holes that may occur in the tape, suggesting that we should replace it. With high pressure clinchers, the tube will eventually cause some depression of the rim tape in the areas of the spoke holes. If this depression becomes more than a few millimeters, I usually go ahead and replace the rim tape before it might blow out. If you're running clinchers, when do you replace your tubes? When do you replace the rim tape? Please comment below and let us know. Subscribe to keep up with our latest videos. This is Tony of Tony 10 Speed. Safe cycling.